All right, I wanted to give an overview on my initial impressions of the Element RC. This is the Enduro 24. It's the 24th scale version of the Enduro. It's available in two colors. One is like a red and blue, the other is a yellow and gray. They both have a black and white kind of main background color to them. It's a little better look at the two different color versions. Pretty standard box. But to get into some of the features, the main ones are listed on the box here. It is 4-link front and rear. And I do find that overall the truck does have pretty realistic articulation and actuation in the suspension. It does have a chassis mounted servo, and it is a forward mounted motor, and with that motor and servo being mounted in the front, it does keep the weight bias to the front despite the battery being mounted all the way in the back. The tires that are on it, they're adequate. They provide decent traction. They could be better, but they also could be worse, and there are far worse out there. They're not foam filled in any way, just air filled, and that kind of keeps them soft enough for this light weight of a vehicle. But it does have this divorced transfer case, which kind of keeps the center of the chassis free. So if you were somebody that wanted to add a different body and a custom interior down the road, it leaves you quite a bit of room to work with there as a result. So get the box out of the way here. And as far as what comes in the box, you're going to obviously get the truck. Transmitter, and the transmitter actually for a microcrawler, I find it to be pretty good. It's got a decent feel to it. Pretty responsive. Trigger and steering, both pretty responsive. It's not a premium feel, but it's definitely better, much better than a toy grade, and especially for being how small it is. It is appreciated that it does have trim for both throttle and steering, in addition to dual rate for both. So that's pretty nice. You see there's a third channel button here, but really it's not active on this model. It runs off a single cell LiPo, and it comes with a 520 milliamp. It's a Reedy, so the associated brand, house name Wolfpack. Decent little battery. And an appropriate and corresponding USB charger. It's more than adequate and does the job. Charges the battery up in really only 30 minutes or so. It's such a small battery. Then you get owner's manual with replacement part numbers, and as far as extra equipment, you get 2 long body posts. So if you wanted to add an SUV body or something of that sort with a high roof line, you've got the posts to do it. So as far as the truck goes, it's pretty bouncy, not dampened suspension in any way. Now I'm going to start off with one of my few and only real complaints regarding this is as it sits with the preload just of the natural body weight on it, there is literally is no suspension travel in the front, none. I mean, a millimeter at most. Now, it does actuate just fine. I mean, you get plenty good flex, and it's not that the wheels can't travel, or don't travel, I should say. Let me show from this side too. Okay, next to nothing. But when you're crawling, I mean, it's got plenty good flex. So the problem is, the servo horn, when both wheels make contact with an object at the same time, or when the vehicle's sitting on the ground under preload, the servo horn actually hits on the transfer, or on the pumpkin, on the diff pumpkin. So when it's sitting under its own weight, that's where you get no travel. But as far as side to side flex goes, it doesn't really hinder its ability when it comes to crawling. So as far as the truck goes, that's my main gripe. The other gripe would be the body and lack of options body-wise. I would have liked to have seen clear windows, and honestly, I would have preferred just a standard one-colored body over whatever this is. In my opinion, it gives it a bit of a toy look. So the shape of the body is fine. I don't have any complaints there. And it could be worse, don't get me wrong. This is a personal opinion thing. I mean, I just don't care for this graphics that really don't make sense. It's sort of symmetrical, but not symmetrical. And I mean, everything's symmetrical except for the roof and portions of the hood. It's just, I don't know, it's a mess to me. I would have liked to have seen something different there. But as far as the truck goes, it's a capable little thing. It's got built-in LEDs in the front. They are only activated when the motor is in forward. It's got the 2-in-1 receiver ESC. You know, pretty standard design, metal frame rails. There's your 4-link front and rear. Lock diffs front and rear. All in all, I think it's a good crawler. Good micro crawler, good first micro crawler, or good addition to your collection. So